If there's anyone who doesn't deserve the title of being a doctor, it's Doctor Strange. All he does is open portals and sends bad guys to the ninth circle of hell, or even worse, the Jimmy Fallon show. However, what if I told you he got his abilities to do surgery again, and his hands were functioning to repair arteries, save souls, and finger buttholes? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today in the 2018 Doctor Strange comic run. The story starts with a mother and son driving home on a dark rainy day in New York, unsurprisingly, and the son straight up tells the mom, "Hey, we're lost." But the mom tells him to shut up, go to sleep, and I'll find a way home, until all of a sudden, the worst thing possible has frightened them. A man. And this man startled the mom to the point where she lost control of the car and it tumbled over. The man grabs the mom by the hair and pulls her. But moments later, Doctor Strange comes to save the day and traps the man with a spell, but he gets away. But that's not important right now, because the whining kid is on the ground and not waking up. The mother was just about to grab him until Strange told her to stop. We don't know what's up with him, so let's limit the movement. Doctor Strange tells the mom that a blood vessel has ruptured and blood is accumulating between the brain and skull. But it looks like Strange gave her the Cliff Notes version of the situation, because what's actually going down is that this boy is royally fucked. This injury is so severe that without precision operation in his brain, he could die in moments. And what sucks just as much, if not worse, Strange is useless. More useless than a book in a gamer's room, because his hands don't work like they used to before. This makes the mom worry even more, and believes that her son is gonna soon be kicking it with the man above. But Strange was like, no, fuck that. You're not going to hang out with God anytime soon, because I'm going to save you. So he transforms into his astral form and travels to a place where he can learn a certain spell to save this young boy. He later comes across this librarian, and yeah, I know what you're thinking. It looks like a maggot butt-fucked on an eraser, and this guy popped out. But anyways, this dude holds the books that contain some of the riskiest spells in magic. The maggot offspring allows Strange to browse his selection of R-rated spells, but he requests a certain book that teaches him how to make his hands whole. The maggot offspring brings forth this book that looks like a diary from Bowser from Super Mario, but the book contains info on how to get his hands back. However, like I said before, there is a major risk. If he does enact the spell, he will either lose his magic powers or receive a severe punishment. So it's a lose-lose situation for Strange, and contemplates whether or not it's worth losing his magic at the cost of one life, when he's tasked with the job of protecting the world. But Strange puts his foot down and pulls up his panties because he swore an oath, damn it, that he will help those who are hurt in any way he can. So he takes the book, goes back to the mom and boy, pulls out a bunch of surgical tools from out of nowhere, and says the spell. But once he has completed it, something spine-tingling has occurred. His hands, Thanos snapped away. No more surgical fingering for him, because his hands pulled off a Kevin Durant and just snaked him. But immediately after, his hands are starting to grow back. He lost a pair just to grow a new one. A pair that could do a better job than his last hands could. His hands are fully healed, and it's time to give his hands a job and start working on fixing this child. Luckily, his magic is still intact, so he starts doing surgery on the boy. But let me point out one thing. I'm not a doctor, but doing surgery in the rain and on the ground, I don't know if that's smart because, you know, what if fucking bacteria, funguses, worms, or cockroaches just enter his body unknowingly and cause an even greater sickness. But anyways, just a little nitpick. Strange is still doing the surgery until all of a sudden, at the worst timing possible, man is back to cause more trouble, and he's very close to hurting them while Strange is doing the surgery, until Strange tells the mom to grab the amulet that is around his neck and flash it upon the man. And you may be wondering two things. One, could have the man killed Strange, the mom, and the kid while they were having this discussion? Of course they could have, but get lost. It's a comic. Nothing makes sense. And two, what is the amulet supposed to do? Well, get this. It's supposed to make him sad. Okay. It's more elaborate than that, but that is the premise of the amulet. Basically, the amulet is meant to show the man the pain that he has caused to others and force empathy. And the mom was successful in making him feel that way, and he flies away. Meanwhile, Doctor Strange has finished the surgery, and the boy is going to the hospital for further treatment. It's going to take months of recovery, but he'll be okay. And that's how the story ends, on the most Teletubby fucking note possible. The maggot offspring said that there would be a punishment or a loss of his powers as a result of the spell. However, none of that happens. Even in the next issue, we see Strange fight a foe with his new hands, but the magic doesn't work as a result of the loss of muscle memory. But he was able to solve that issue quickly, and his magic powers were fine. And on top of that, he wants to go back to being a surgeon, so one of his magic buddies made a doohickey that allows him to learn any new knowledge about surgery, so he could go back to work and be a surgeon, while also being the Sorcerer Supreme. Imagine having a spell that allows you to acquire knowledge about anything. It's kind of like a cheat code in life. I mean, I would like to know if we can live on Mars, or if men could get pregnant. But nonetheless, it was a good story. Very funky, and it had me almost doing a somersault in fear, but I just wish there were actual consequences. And yeah, that's about it. Subscribe and I'll see you later.